A small, poor girl held a piece of old bread and said, "This is for my brother," her tummy empty. A rich young man stopped to listen, ready to make a big, surprising choice. Before watching, full comment below from where you watching. On a rainy morning, March 28, 2025, a busy city street buzzed with people rushing under umbrellas. Cars honked and the wet pavement shone under gray clouds. Near a small bakery, a little girl stood alone. Her name was Lily. She was only 4 years old, small and thin, with messy brown hair and a torn dress. In her dirty hands she held a stale piece of bread. It was hard and dry, but she gripped it tight like it was something special. She looked at it with big hungry eyes and whispered to herself, "If I just eat a little bit, maybe there'll be some left for my brother." Her voice was soft, almost lost in the noise of the street. Lily didn't have a mom or dad. They died a long time ago, and now it was just her and her older brother, Ben. He was 12 and tried hard to take care of her. They lived in a tiny, old apartment far from the fancy parts of the city. Ben worked odd jobs, picking up cans or carrying bags for people, but it wasn't enough. Some days they didn't eat at all. Lily's tummy growled, but she thought of Ben first. He was bigger, but he looked tired and weak lately. She wanted him to have the bread more than she wanted it for herself. That's how she was, always putting him first, even when she felt so hungry she could cry. The bakery smelled warm and sweet, with bread and cakes lined up in the window. Lily stood on her tiptoes, staring at them, her small hands pressed against the cold glass. She didn't beg or ask for help. She just held her bread and hoped it could be enough for Ben. She didn't know someone was about to notice her. On that same rainy morning, Nathan Reed stepped out of Reed Tower, his tall office building made of glass and steel. He was 25 years old, a billionaire who owned a big tech company. He wore a perfect black suit, shiny shoes, and a fancy Italian tie. His dark green eyes checked his wristwatch. It said 8:37 a.m. Time was everything to Nathan. He was always rushing, always busy, and never late. Today he had an important meeting with people from Japan. He couldn't miss it. Nathan wasn't like most people. He didn't smile much or talk about feelings. He was cold, sharp, and focused like a machine. He built his empire all by himself after his family was gone. His dad died when he was 12, and his mom left him soon after, chasing her own life. Nathan took his dad's small company and made it huge, worth billions. People wrote about him in magazines, calling him a genius. But he didn't care about friends or fun. He cared about work, schedules, and winning. Being late? That never happened. Everyone knew Nathan Reed was perfect at his job. As he walked fast down the wet street, his phone buzzed. It was Margaret, his assistant, talking through a tiny earpiece he always wore. "Mr. Reed, the car is waiting 2 blocks away," she said. "Traffic's bad on the main road." Nathan frowned, his steps getting quicker. "How long until the meeting?" he asked, fixing his tie. 17 minutes, sir." "Mr. Tanaka is already here," she replied. "Darn," Nathan muttered. He hated delays. They messed up his plans. His mind raced, thinking of a faster way. He scanned the street for his black car, ignoring the raindrops hitting his face. Nathan didn't see the little girl yet, but his perfect world was about to change. The city street was loud and busy, with people hurrying past Nathan Reed. Rain fell harder now, splashing on umbrellas and coats. Nathan moved fast, his eyes fixed ahead, thinking only about his meeting. He never stopped for anyone, never had time. But then something tiny broke through the noise. A soft whisper came from his right, near the bakery. "If I just eat a little bit, maybe there'll be some left for my brother." It was so quiet he shouldn't have heard it. But he did. Nathan froze. His feet stopped moving like someone had grabbed him. For a man who never paused, this was strange. He turned his head slowly, looking for the voice. There she was, a small girl standing alone by the bakery window. Her name was Lily, though he didn't know that yet. She was dirty, her dress torn and faded, her brown hair messy and wet. She looked so thin, like she hadn't eaten in days. In her small hands she held a hard, old piece of bread, clutching it tight against her chest. Her big brown eyes stared at the fresh loaves in the window, shining with hunger. She didn't cry or beg. She just stood there, holding her bread, lost in her own world. Nathan's heart did something funny, it squeezed a little. He wasn't used to that. His meeting, his car, his perfect schedule, they all faded from his mind. Ignoring the rain soaking his suit, he stepped closer to her. People moved around him, but he didn't care. He bent down a bit and asked, "Who's the bread for?" His voice was softer than usual, not sharp like it was with his workers. Lily jumped a little, surprised, and looked up at him. Her eyes were wide, unsure. She hugged the bread tighter and whispered, "My brother. He hasn't eaten since yesterday." Her words hit Nathan hard. He pictured a boy, hungry and waiting somewhere, depending on this tiny girl. For the first time in years, Nathan didn't think about time or money. He thought about her. "Let's get you some more," he said, standing up straight. It was a small choice, but for Nathan it was shocking. He was about to change everything. Nathan Reed stood in front of the little girl, Lily, feeling strange. He wasn't good with people, especially kids. His hands felt clumsy, and his suit was wet from the rain, but her hungry eyes pulled at something inside him. "Would you like some bread?" he asked, his voice shaky. He wasn't sure how to talk to her. Lily looked up, her face unsure. She took a tiny step back, holding her stale bread tighter. "Brother says not to trust strangers," she said quietly, her voice small but firm. Nathan nodded. She was smart to be careful. But then her tummy growled loud and her eyes flicked to the bakery window. Hunger was stronger than fear. She bit her lip and said, "Okay, but only if you get some for my brother too." Nathan smiled a little. "Deal," he said. He opened the bakery door and a warm smell of fresh bread hit them. Lily stepped inside, her dirty shoes leaving little marks on the clean floor. The lady behind the counter looked surprised to see a rich man in a suit with a ragged girl. Nathan didn't care. "We need bread," he said, then kept going. "And soup. And pastries. A lot of them." The lady blinked but started packing things fast. Lily's eyes got huge as she watched. She pointed at a round loaf with seeds on top. "That one's for brother," she said. Then she pointed at a sweet roll with shiny sugar. "This one's for me." Nathan nodded. "Good choices. We'll take 2 of each." He added more, cheese buns, a cake, hot soup in cups, way more than Lily ever dreamed of. She stared like it was magic. As they waited, Nathan sat her at a small table. "Tell me about your brother," he said gently. Lily took a tiny bite of her roll, chewing slow like she wanted it to last. "His name's Ben. He's 12. He takes care of me, but he's sick now. Costs a lot. He looks for food in trash cans so I don't have to." Her words were simple, but they hit Nathan hard. He remembered being alone as a kid, hungry and scared after his dad died. No one helped him back then, he had to fight for everything. Looking at Lily, he saw a bit of himself, but also something better. She wasn't just surviving, she was sharing. "He sounds brave," Nathan said, his throat tight. Lily nodded. "He is." For the first time in years, Nathan felt something warm, a little piece of his heart waking up. Nathan Reed stood in the bakery, watching Lily hold her sweet roll like a treasure. The bags of food, bread, soup, pastries, sat ready on the counter. Normally he'd pay, leave, and rush to his next big thing. But today was different. His phone buzzed in his pocket. It was Margaret, his assistant, probably asking why he wasn't at his meeting yet. Nathan pulled out the phone, stared at it, and did something he'd never done before. He turned it off. No meeting, no Japanese investors, no Reed Tower. For the first time in his career, he didn't care about being late. He looked at Lily and said, "I'm taking you home. We'll bring this food to your brother." Lily's eyes got wide. "You mean it?" she asked. Nathan nodded. "Let's go." Outside, his shiny black car waited, sleek and fancy against the wet, gray street. The driver opened the door, looking confused as Nathan helped Lily climb in with the bags. She slid onto the soft leather seat, her dirty dress out of place in the luxury. "Wow," she whispered, touching the smooth armrest. "It's like a spaceship." Nathan smiled a little, something he rarely did. "Tell me where to go," he said. Lily leaned forward, pointing. "Straight, then left where the big sign is." The driver followed her directions, weaving through the city. Nathan watched her, amazed. She was so small, so tough, guiding him like she'd done this 100 times. He'd never met anyone like her. The car left the tall buildings behind and rolled into a poorer part of town. The streets got bumpy, the houses old and worn. Lily pointed to a rundown apartment complex. Cracked walls, peeling paint, a few broken windows. "Here," she said. The driver parked, and Nathan carried the food bags as Lily led him up creaky stairs. The air smelled damp and old. At a scratched wooden door, Lily knocked. "Ben, it's me," she called. The door opened slow, and there stood Ben, her brother. He was 12, skinny and pale, with dark circles under his eyes. A rough cough shook his thin frame. He looked at Nathan, tall, rich, in a wetsuit, and frowned. "Who's he?" Ben asked, voice sharp but weak. Lily grinned. "He's Nathan. He got us food." Ben's eyes flicked to the bags, suspicious. Why? He said. Nathan set the bags down. Because Lily said you're hungry, he answered simply. Ben stared, unsure, but Lily's smile softened the moment. Nathan knew then he wasn't leaving them like this. Nathan Reed stood in the cramped apartment, the food bags at his feet. Lily hugged Ben, her skinny brother, who still coughed into his sleeve. Nathan watched them, something tugging at his mind. Ben's face, pale with freckles scattered across his nose and deep brown eyes, felt familiar. Those eyes, sharp but tired, looked like ones Nathan knew long ago. His heart beat faster. He squinted, trying to place it. Then it hit him. The orphanage. Before his dad's tech company made millions, Nathan lived there, a lonely kid with no family. There was a boy, a little older, with freckles and those same brown eyes. They'd shared scraps of food, sitting on cold floors, promising to stick together. But Nathan got picked, adopted into wealth, and that boy stayed behind. Could it be? Ben, Nathan said, his voice low, did you ever live in St. Mary's home? Years ago? Ben froze, his cough stopping for a second. He stared at Nathan, eyes narrowing. How do you know that? He asked, suspicious. Nathan swallowed hard. I was there too. I knew you. Lily looked between them, confused. Ben's face softened just a bit. Nate? He whispered, using a name Nathan hadn't heard since he was a kid. The skinny one who gave me half his bread? Nathan nodded, a lump in his throat. Yeah, that was me. Lily tilted her head. You knew brother? She asked. Ben coughed again, then said, we were friends. Till he left. His voice wasn't mad, just sad. Nathan's mind flashed back. He saw it clear, two boys shivering in a big gray room. One day, Nathan broke his stale bread in half and gave it to Ben. For you, he'd said. They laughed, pretending it was a feast. Now here was Lily holding bread for Ben the same way. Nathan's chest hurt. Guilt rushed in. He'd gone to a big house, got rich, forgot that boy. Ben stayed, got tough, raised Lily alone. I didn't know you were still out here, Nathan said, quiet. I got lucky. You didn't. Ben shrugged. Had to keep going. For her. He nodded at Lily, who smiled up at him. Nathan saw himself in them, his old self, scared and hungry but kind too. Nostalgia mixed with shame. He'd left Ben behind, but now they were here, together again. I'm sorry, Nathan said, meaning it. Ben just looked at him, then at Lily's bread. You're here now, he said. That was enough. Nathan Reed stood in Ben and Lily's tiny apartment, the past heavy in his chest. He looked at them, Lily with her big eyes, Ben with his tired cough, and knew food wasn't enough. He wanted to do more, something real. Ben, he said, stepping closer, I've got an idea. Not just bread for today, but a way to keep you going. Ben frowned, crossing his arms. What do you mean? Nathan took a breath. I'll pay for a small food stall. You can run it, sell baked goods. Lily can help make them. It'll give you money, a steady life. Lily's face lit up. Like a bakery? She asked, bouncing a little. Nathan nodded. Exactly. You'd have a job, Ben, not a handout. Ben's eyes narrowed. I don't take charity, he said, voice hard. I've kept us alive without help. Nathan understood. Ben was proud, like Nathan used to be, fighting for every scrap. It's not charity, he said, quick. It's a partnership. I give the money to start it, you do the work. We split what you earn. You're the boss. Ben stared at him, thinking. Lily tugged Ben's sleeve. Please, brother? I can make rolls. Ben's tough look softened at her smile. He rubbed his neck, then nodded slow. Okay, but I work for it. No free stuff. Nathan grinned, relieved. Deal. The next day Nathan got busy. He found an empty shop just 2 streets away, small with cracked walls but good enough. He paid cash to rent it, no questions asked. Workers came fast, fixing it up with ovens, a counter, and shelves. Nathan brought in flour, sugar, everything Ben would need. He even got a sign made, Ben's Bread. Then he sat with Ben, showing him simple stuff, how to count money, set prices, keep track of supplies. Ben listened, quiet but focused, his cough interrupting sometimes. Lily watched too, drawing pictures of bread on old paper. I'll decorate the bags, she said, proud. Nathan chuckled. Perfect. Weeks later the stall was ready. Ben baked his first loaves, rough but good. Lily shaped little rolls, her hands messy with dough. Nathan stayed close, helping, teaching. He saw Ben stand taller, not just a kid surviving but a boy building something. Nathan felt different too. The man who cared only about meetings and millions was changing. He liked this better, watching Ben and Lily grow strong, knowing he'd given them a chance, not just money. It wasn't his old life anymore. It was theirs together. Months passed and Ben's bread grew strong. The little stall on the corner buzzed with life. People lined up every morning, smiling as they bought warm loaves and sweet rolls. Ben worked hard, his thin hands steady now, shaping dough like he'd been doing it forever. His cough was softer these days, fading with good food and rest. Lily helped too, her small fingers decorating paper bags with colorful drawings, stars, hearts, funny faces. Customers loved them, calling her the little artist. She'd grin and say, "Buy from brother, he's the best." The stall wasn't just a shop anymore, it was theirs, a place they built together. Nathan came every week, leaving his fancy office to check on them. He didn't care about profits like before. Seeing Ben and Lily happy gave him something bigger, something real. The three of them became a team, an odd little family. Lily brought the heart, always smiling, always sharing. Ben had the grit, tough and quiet, keeping everything going. Nathan gave the resources, money, ideas, a push when they needed it. He used to check his watch all the time, counting minutes like they were gold. Now he left it in his pocket. He'd rather sit with them, talking or just watching, than rush to meetings. They didn't need his billions to feel rich. A hot loaf, a laugh, a busy day, that was enough. Nathan felt it too. For the first time since he was a kid, he belonged somewhere. One sunny afternoon, the stall was full of people. Ben kneaded dough behind the counter, sweat on his forehead, a small smile on his lips. Lily stood on a box, braiding a long strip of dough into a twisty shape. "Look, Mr. Nathan," she called, holding it up. Flour dusted her cheeks, and some stuck to Nathan's suit from helping earlier. He laughed, a big real laugh that surprised him. "It's perfect, Lily," he said, taking the braid to set it on the tray. Customers chatted and bought, the air warm with bread and noise. Nathan looked at Ben, then Lily, then the busy stall. This was his shocking choice, not towers or deals, but this messy, happy life. It rebuilt him, piece by piece, and he wouldn't trade it for anything.